I just do me, but they sound too much. Chosen one, I don't ever get too fucked. And my mama said I'm special. If I don't trust you, shoot your metro. Future looking bright, nigga, got that glow. Professor X, nigga, all the gifts I show. My life like a movie shot off the hit show. Me and Bless Hands make a bitch get low. James Willis, DJ CEO. Dave hit record, now we on beast mode. Let's go.
Yeah, we live. Welcome back to the Hit Show podcast. We live again. What's going on? I got my main man, Jonathan Leffred. Y'all know him from Facebook. What's going on, Jonathan?
What's going on?
Man, listen. You posted this. You did it. I'm blaming this shit on you. I'm blaming this shit on you right now. I've been watching some of your stuff. I said, you know what? I got a bone to pick with Jonathan. Jonathan be posting some controversial stuff. I'd be like, he can't be serious. This one was one of my favorites. I like this because it reminds me of the Kevin Samuels, Andrew Tate argument. You know what I'm saying? And whoever watching, make sure y'all share this video. Y'all hit the Cash App. You see the ticker at the bottom. Money sign, Hit Show Podcast, LLC, if you like to support the show. Now, the subject below is women are born with value. Men create value. Right? Now, I'm going to say this. I have to agree. Because we're taught different. Men and women, but also we do different things, men and women. So it's going to be a double standard on both sides. Right? So women are born with value from birth. They're told automatically, when you grow up, you're a princess. You're going to grow up to be a queen to a king. You're going to be a wife. You're going to be a mother. They're taught that as kids. Men, we're taught as we're young, hey, when you get older, as a man, you need to have a job. You need to have a stable house. You need to have transportation. You need to be a man for a woman, right? You can't do that at 6 and 7, 8 years old, right? You have to create that value within yourself. Am I right?
You're right.
So we're taught as men, as we're not even as kids, we don't have value as men, is how we're taught, because we don't know how to do anything yet. So that's why you see a lot of boys at 14 to 15, what they do, they start working because that's what creates their value, right? Mm-hmm. They start working, learning trades and going to trade school and taking up trades in high school and working jobs after school to create that value, right? So men do have to earn all their value. If you're with a man and he's 25 or 30, he didn't just get his value unless he inherited a shitload of money from somebody. That's different. But the average man, we have to work and create that value, right? So do you think it's fair that women are born with it and men have to create it? How do you feel about that? Like, you think it's fair?
I feel like it is fair.
Okay.
And the reason I feel like it is fair is because with the society that we live in and historically, women it has to be instilled in you as a woman to create love, emotion, and everything into the household, because we have different roles between men and women. And if if those goals aren't instilled in you from a beginning, you're not going to understand them. I feel like it's fair for men because I think a lot of men, they take the reality of it as men. And a lot of men don't look at the life lessons that we see. Hey, Karen. So, like, one of the life lessons that we saw, and you know, if you grew up in the hood, if you watched hood movies and everything like that, was Boys in the Hood. There were a lot of life lessons in Boys in the Hood, but the key life instances in Boys in the Hood that are relevant in what we're talking about is the relationship of Ricky and Cuba Gooding Jr. in that movie. If you grew up in the hood, you understood that there were roles that every boy had in the hood. If he was an athlete, the OGs was telling them, hey, leave him the fuck alone because he's going to do something great. We are we are relying on him to be this great athlete, and y'all gonna leave him the fuck alone. This ain't the life for him. If you was that smart kid in the neighborhood and the OGs knew that you was making good grades and stuff like that, they was relying on you to do something better when you was in the hood. Cuba Gooding Jr. They knew not to fuck with Cuba Gooding Jr. because he had Furious. You know what I'm saying? Furious was a strong black man in that community, and didn't nobody bother Furious. So, but then you also have those kids that was in the hood that you knew they was gonna be a hood nigga when they grew up because they had that mentality, they had that strength, they had that drive, and that's what they wanted to do. So that's why the OGs embraced them like that to bring them in, because you have to have that in the black community. That's just how we have. That's just how we are. And a lot of black men, they take this out of it. They don't look at the reality of it is everybody in our community has key structures that we play. And if you know that somebody's a good person in a neighborhood, you don't bother them. And that's why I think that it's fair.
That makes a lot of sense. And they seen the value. So we're going to use that as an example for the men. The great point. They protected Ricky, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they seen the value in him at the young age, right? They knew he was going to get a college degree, right?
Right.
They knew he was going to go to the pros,
right,
and get his family out the hood. And even though him and his brother, which Doughboy Ice Cube, even though they were totally different, they love each other. And Doughboy knew, okay, I'm gonna protect my brother at all costs. He's not gonna gangbang. You're not gonna be in the streets, because he's seen his true value. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But Ricky had to earn that value, right?
Right.
Even though they probably seen it at 7 to 8, 9, 10. Oh, you pretty good. Then he got 14, 15. Oh, he's going to the NFL. No gang banging, no streets. They seen the value inside of him at that time, right? Which all men have to create that. Because if he didn't play football, he might have been doing something else. Maybe he would have been like just maybe like an engineer or something. You know what I'm saying? But in the hood, the people that are valued like that are usually the athletes, right?
Right.
Because that's a good example for the hood. Now, as far as women, right, they don't have to worry about creating that value, and women don't have to really like protect each other as much as the men do that are in the hood, because the reason why women are born already with value. You know what I'm saying? They're already automatically given their value. But on the boy's side, he's going to be protected a certain way and treated a certain way because that's the guy. So it's only one out of the whole family. It was one person that had value. One person in that whole hood. Him and Trey had value because he really wasn't, but he wasn't valued as like Ricky was. Right. You know what I'm saying? So out of 30 dudes you see out there in the hood, you got 2 guys with value. So everybody's protecting those 2 guys. You know what I'm saying? But that's a good point. You broke. I like that. Go ahead.
So the other indicators were, one of the things that I see in the value side of it is that I learned by listening to these other races. Africans are one of the key people that I learned this from. When I used to work at Coda, there was this other African. We both had the same name. We both named Jonathan. What he told me was, he said, when he was in a refugee camp, he said that when they take their classes and stuff like that, when they are being groomed to come over here to America, these white people, they come in, these white people that the same white people that we give money to, like, hey, give money to Africa and stuff like that, kids are over here starving, they come over there and they talk to them. And one of the things that he told me, and I've heard this before, but me and Jonathan were cool. He told me, he said, when he came over to America, he was in fear of the black man. He didn't say African American men. He said the black man, because they were told that if a black man has tattoos, if he has a beard, if he has dreads, if he dresses urban, that we were thugs. that we were lazy, that we didn't work in society. He was told this. So when I say black men have to earn their value, it's deeper than just we have to go out here and we have to build ourselves up a different way. It's that everybody looks down upon us because society doesn't deem us as being worth anything unless we are making money for society. And if people really actually look at historical kingdoms like we see on these white movies where they got kings and queens and stuff like that, and you have the court gesture. See, the court gesture is the motherfucker that makes the king laugh. He entertains the king. You know, he makes sure that the king goes out there and he gets his giggles off. So in this day and age, it's shifted. The court gestures are now the people that are on these reality TV shows. They entertain the king. You know, you want to see some drama and some bullshit to make you laugh and be like, these motherfuckers are stupid. Look on these reality TV shows. The problem with that is this. In society, if you are a white man or a white woman and you weren't really around black people all your life, and you know, black people we're popular right now. We got all the music, we got all the movies, we got all the sports. If you see me dressing like a T.I., a Lil Wayne, or if you see a woman dressing like a Candy or one of these other women from these reality TV shows, and the only thing that you've been privileged to is to see black people in this platform, you tend to think I'm that person because I dress like them, because my hairstyle is like them, because I'm carrying my purse like them, and you're going to treat me like that. Because that's not what you're used to. That is not how you were raised. That's not the type of drama that you're used to. And it looks cool on TV, but in reality, it makes you in fear because it's strong, it's violent, we're loud, we're boisterous. They don't like that shit.
So when the Africans are told about us as far as our value, and not only Africans, because I've heard that before. When I was living in Kentucky, I worked with a lot of Somalians, and this lady told me that was Somalian, beautiful girl. She said, "We're told before we come here not to talk to black men because they're on the bottom, right?"
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And you brought up a good thing about image. When you're creating value, and people look at you, they're also value you on your image, like you said. Mm. Just because you got dreads don't mean you're a thug. I've seen lawyers with dreads. That doesn't mean it. And people need to get out there, stereotyping stuff. Because I've seen people that look completely like a thug, and when you talk to them, they're completely the opposite. Right?
But do you know why they're scared? Do you know why they're scared of people with dreads?
Why is that?
Oh yeah. Let's do history lesson today. Let's do history lesson. I like this. All right, so check it out. Who were the original travelers?
Original travelers?
Who were the first world travelers?
It had to be the Africans because they were here first.
The Moors.
Oh, okay.
The Moors were the first travelers. See, white people want to keep throwing up Vikings and shit like that. White people were not educated on anything before black people came along. Before white people decided that they were going to travel and come out of mountains and stop eating dumb shit and doing weird stuff, black people were already traveling. We already have boats. We were already traveling. See, Moors, the thing with the Moors and what history tells us about the Moors is not only were they very strong people, not only were they very educated, but they were very humble people. They were willing to teach anybody, and they were really willing to learn from anybody. Well, white people killed the Moors off. After the Moors taught them checks and balances and water and how to bathe themselves and shit like that, white people killed them off.
But see, white people, if you pay attention to history, right? They pretty much killed off everybody, right?
They did. Yeah.
Tried to kill us off. Well, they really didn't kill us off. They killed a lot of us off, but through slavery. right? And
Mm-hmm.
to your point, once they got what they wanted out of us, meaning the information, right? Once they
Mm-hmm.
got the education, the information, they say, you know what, we don't need those no more. So
Mm-hmm.
they seen a lot of the value in us, right? So since we're talking about value, they seen the value in the men and women. People don't even know a black woman created the cell phone. See, a lot of people don't know black folks, we created everything. We have a lot of value in us, men and women both, right?
Right.
We have more value in than we think we have. But
Right.
society will tell you we're worthless.
But when you hide and burn paperwork and you burn historical aspects and you take what we've given you and you make it your own, you devalue us.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the problems and the things that they did, and I shared this on my live earlier, was I had this white man ask me a few days ago, what do I think about Jewish people? What do I think about, the whole thing with Nick Cannon and the whole thing with Kanye West and what I think about Jewish people? And I actually told him, I was like, why the fuck do I care about Jewish people? Why, as a black man, do I care about what the fuck goes on in Jewish society? And he was like, well, Jewish people this. I said, do you not understand that the United States gave Jewish people reparations 3 times?
And then
Jewish
give a
people
shit.
were right. Wait a minute, it's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. The Jewish people fucked that shit up 2 times, and the United States gave it to them a 3rd time, and that's when they decided that they were going to disperse it to the rest of the Jewish people. I said, do you not understand that the United States gave Germany reparations for the Holocaust? And you think that I, as a black man, am supposed to give a fuck about Jewish people when we founded the United States? We were here before the Indians. You think I'm supposed to sit here and say, oh, the Jewish people and black people have the same struggle? The fuck no. No.
No,
Because as a
that don't even make sense.
It doesn't. And it devalues me as a black man to care more or equal to another race or religion than I do about my own people. I refuse to do it.
That makes good sense. But let's talk about the women that are born with value, okay? Because I wanted to bring this up. So when women are given their value at birth and told what I said earlier through life, this is
don't say women, say black women. Say black women, because we're not.
No, I'm saying all women. Because I got to be honest, all women.
All women. Though. They're not though. They're not.
How are they not though?
Because when have any other women besides black women? When have they been mocked? In the 16, 17, and 1800s, white women were making cages out of steel to create butts so that they would look like black women. No other woman on the face of this earth is valued as much as a black woman. That's why you can never hear strong Asian women, strong Mexican women, strong white women. We got to say black women. These other women are not valued like that. People come from all over the world to find a black woman, not an African woman, a black woman, not a Jamaican woman, not a Haiti woman. They want to find a black woman because they are the strongest women on earth. And remember, and I tell Africans this shit all the time, so this ain't nothing secret. Remember, in slavery, they took the strongest black people and left the other people behind.
Mm-hmm.
American black women are the strongest women on earth. That's why they are sought after.
They're born with value because they were here first. You gotta understand, black woman is the mother of civilization. She was here first, so they automatically had value. So I understand that. But in today's world, see, I'm gonna bring. I thought you twisted it up on me. Okay, but because I want to get to the modern world with this value shit. That's where I want to go, because what happens is all this women born with value or black women born with value all ties into entitlement. And that's the worst. That's the worst thing you come across.
You got to elaborate on that entitlement, though.
This is the problem we're having, right? Right now, at this time, what are men being told? As a man, you have to do this, that, and the third, right? The entitlement. If you're, since I'm a woman, you're a man. As a man, you have to provide for me. You have to take care of me. You have to secure me. No matter what I do, when I do. As a man, that's what you're supposed to do. Tell me I'm wrong. I just want to know. Am I wrong?
I think you should elaborate more on that.
Okay. Say you meet a lady and she say halfway interested. Mm-hmm. It turns into, and Cyan the Madman always says this. It just went from a conversation to a negotiation.
Okay. So this is what I want you to do. This is what I want you to do because I'm digging your grave on this right now. Okay. I want you to elaborate on how it got to that point. Where that came from.
It all came from this. This would happen. Okay. The entitlement came once with women. The entitlement came once we got kicked out the house. Once they were able to go to work, go to school, get on any type of systems that kicked the man away, that kind of gave them a way to say, okay, you know what? Now, if you want me, you have to do this, that, and the third, and I can do what I want when I want to, because no matter what, I'm taken care of. If I had a kid with you, I can go to the government. If I marry you and divorce you, I can get half of your money. I can get half of your retirement. So no matter what, I'm protected.
But I want you to dig deeper. Where and when did that, and what group of people? I'm about to dig your hole. I'm digging you a hole.
So you want me to take it to the feminist stuff? That's what you want to hear. You want to hear the feminists. The feminists, and the crazy part is the feminists, guess what? That group wasn't designed by black women.
That's where I'm taking you to.
But they brainwashed y'all and turned y'all into feminists. And the worst thing that ever happened to especially black men is when our women became feminists and said, we don't need you, you ain't shit.
But black women decided that they was going to try and take the reign and try and change it in, trying to change these white women's problems and try and make it their own problem. And then when they did that, they decided that they was going to join teams and try to make both problems the same. And it's not the same. That's where we started having these problems at. Because as I said before, and I'm going to just ask you as a black man, was James on Good Times a great role model?
Best father ever. I don't care with nobody.
Okay. So when you have a feminist, Oprah Winfrey, like that telling you that your man must have a house, a car, a job, money, he must be able to provide for you, basically disrespected James, because we know James didn't have a car. We know that they lived in a 1-bedroom apartment. We know that James did the best that he could do to provide for his family. And even though they didn't have all the luxuries of life, his family still loved him. So you mean to tell me
exactly
that James wasn't a great dad? I think James was an awesome fucking father. He was a strong black man, but you get feminists like Oprah Winfrey. She shouldn't, in my opinion, she shouldn't be shit, because
go ahead.
Oprah Winfrey in a strong black relationship. You've been chasing Stedman for 40 years, and every time you on vacation, you out with Gail and them raggedy ass damn dogs.
Why you got to bring the dogs into it? Hold on now.
Dogs.
I know. Go ahead.
I don't see Stedman's ass out there walking them dogs, being the strong black man that he's supposed to be. And that's no disregard to Stedman. But what it is showing that how strong that feminist movement was to sit up here and right after Oprah Winfrey started coming on, you started getting songs like "You Gotta Have a J-O-B if you wanna be with me." You started having shit like that. And then you started having black women out here dating white men, not understanding that the reason that white men treat women the way they do is because they're weak. They are submissive. And they'll do whatever the fuck you want them to do to get a taste of that fucking cookie. Versus a black man, the thing with black women is they've forgotten our struggle. They've forgotten how profiled we are in society and how hated we are.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad. Go ahead.
What troubles me is that what women don't see. You don't understand that I'm a manager at a Fortune 500 company. I am very professional when I go to work. I hold doors open for customers. I talk to customers in a very respectable manner. I train my staff to talk to customers in a very respectable manner. But when a white lady comes into my store and looks down on me and asks to speak to the manager, and when I tell her that I am the manager of this store, and she looks down on me like, oh, but you're a nigger, gives me that look, and this is what I have to deal with every single day. And not only that, I have to worry about when I have to drive home, if there's going to be a police officer that's going to get behind my car, run my tags, and pull me over because, oh, one tire is bigger than the other tire on your car, and I'm going to pull you over from some mysterious reason. Or if he does pull me over, am I going to be killed? If I go into a store, are they going to think that I'm stealing something because I'm picking up a bag of chips? Shit, am I just going to be shot on something random because I'm just there? And we have to deal with all this stuff on the way home, and then we have to come home and hear some bullshit.
And this the thing. You said the key word. They forgot. They pretty much forgot how we were treated. They forgot how society treats us. And you would think in today's modern world with all this technology, everybody has a cell phone, Google, and the world at your fingertips. You would think they would be more opening to us and our position and our life at the time they meet us. You would think because they know our history.
Black women don't want the black struggle anymore. They don't want that starting from the bottom. Now we hear struggle anymore because they see all these other people living these miraculous bullshit ass lives. They see the grass on the other side looking greener, and that's what they want. They do not give black men the chance to get there. It's harder for us to get there.
Got you.
I shared this story on my Facebook post before. I was a manager at Verizon I'm gonna take it back. I managed 9 Metro PCS stores, and before I got to Verizon, that's what I was doing. When I came to Verizon told me that I could not be a manager there because I needed to learn the Verizon way, and I was willing to accept that because it was a higher pay. When I get to Verizon, the very first day of training class, there is these 2 hillbilly, scruffy, dirty looking ass white boys that get up. They stand up in the middle of the class and they say, hey, we're so thankful for Verizon because last week we were making sandwiches at Subway, and now this week we're managers of Verizon. So I closed my book and walked my black ass about the door. I had this Uncle Tom nigga come running after me like, what's the problem? How in the fuck did these sandwich making ass motherfuckers, they're my boss? And I've been in the cell phone game since 2004, and it's 2018 now, and you think that I'm about to answer to some sandwich makers? Absolutely not. After I walked out that door and got myself home, they decided that they were going to call me and offer me a management position at another job. That was strike number 1. Strike number 2 came. I got passed over by a district manager because this white boy had graduated college with a culinary degree, and they thought that he was a better fit in Verizon as a district manager than me. So you mean to tell me that you think I'm about to answer to this damn this custard making ass white boy because he has a college degree? Yeah, absolutely not. So they were going to pay me more money. They were going to pay me the salary of a district manager, but they were not going to promote me to district manager because they didn't want me to have that role. Because this face, this beard, this bald head, this voice, they didn't want that to be the voice of Verizon because I was a black man. That's what we deal with.
But
this is what we deal with.
That's deep because I've heard of stuff like that before, where they'll put somebody and they'll give somebody the salary of the position, but won't give them the title. And it's not even the salary, right? It's the title that gives you as a man that sense of pride because you earned it, right?
Absolutely.
They took that away from you as a man. You didn't even care about the salary because you like, no, I want the title because I earned it. As a man, as a hardworking man, I earned that title. And that's the thing about black men, right? We have to work twice as hard than anybody to get anywhere. I'm sure Jonathan worked twice as hard as anybody to get that position, and they gave him the salary and didn't want to give him the title so he could have that sense of pride. They didn't want him to feel good, but they wanted to say, here's the money and keep your mouth shut. You just another nigga, pretty much. That's what it sounded like to me, because some shit happened to me like that before, to where I got a promotion, but they wouldn't give me the title, even though I earned it. But then they'll give it to some jackass that look like them, that don't know what the fuck going on, just because of the color of their skin. And to mention, when we're talking about men creating value, I do have to say this. I have to be honest. As black men, we have to really create our value more than any other race. Some races, and listen, we about to go deep. Okay? Now I'm about to go in. They're not going to like this. And I'm going to say it. I don't give a fuck who get mad. I've been blocked on TikTok this week. I don't give a shit who blocks me. And Jonathan, they might block you for being on it with me. I'm just letting you know before I say it. I'm going to be honest with you. Our own women will value another race just by the color of their skin.
Oh, absolutely.
And they will devalue us just if we walk in the room and just because, oh, that's just another nigga. Our value decreases because we look like you. Me and you look just alike in the same place. When I walk in the room, you devalue me. But when this Asian and Japanese or Hispanic or white man come in, his value increases just because of his skin. And that is wrong.
Oh, wait a minute. Go deeper than that. Go deeper than that. Y'all black women will devalue us, and then not only devalue us, but y'all will never talk shit about these other races. I never heard y'all say white motherfuckers ain't shit, Asian motherfuckers ain't shit, Ethiopians, Africans, Guyanese, none of them motherfuckers ain't shit. It's always niggas ain't shit. Listen, ain't no other race a nigga. I don't give a fuck what white boy was raised in the hood, what Asian was raised in the hood. You not a nigga. This is a nigga. These honkies that y'all call niggas is not niggas. They just white boys that want to be a nigga. But at the end of the fucking day, guess what? Y'all devalue black men by saying this bullshit. A white man tell y'all what to do. Y'all, yes, sir, master. I'm never gonna talk bad about you, master. A nigga tell you the same goddamn thing this fucking dumbass white Caucasian done told you, and y'all motherfuckers don't say shit.
Man,
and then after y'all go out there and y'all experiment with these other motherfuckers, guess what y'all do? Y'all come right back in here to daddy. Oh, black men, this, I love a strong black king and that's why, man, fuck you. You don't give a fuck about us.
Hold that thought. You know the fakest shit I ever seen? And I hate to say stuff like this, but this is the hit show. We don't bite our tongue for nobody, whether you're black, white, whoever. And I love everybody. I love every race, color, whatever. You know me, I don't care. I love you for who you are.
Right.
But the fakest shit I seen when George Floyd died, I seen all the same black girls on my Facebook who talk shit about niggas every day. All of a sudden, I love black men. I said, this is the fakest shit I ever seen.
Man, listen.
If something like that happened to me ever, do not say you love black men because you didn't love us the day before he got killed. So please keep that same, man. That shit fake and it's wrong.
The fakest shit that I see, that I hear every day, and what pisses me off, and I've said it before, is when women and men sit up there and say all black people are kings and queens.
That's untrue.
I tell
100%.
people, I like to break it down like this and tell people exactly how the fuck it is. Because if you ever seen my podcast or my Facebooks, you know I don't give a fuck about what y'all think. I'm gonna tell you like this: if you are a king and a queen, you got peasants. You can't be a king or queen without fucking peasants.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, the only way you are a king or a queen is if you have followers. If you don't have anybody following you, you can't be a king and queen. And there are other royalty in these kingdoms. There are bishops, there are lords, there are all these other people in these kingdoms. Everybody can't be a leader. But here's the thing. One of the biggest things that people fuck up on in the black community is giving people more praise than they're actually really worth.
Yeah, that's a big problem. And I'm gonna say this before you get into it. Now, because I know you about to go deep. I think as black people, we give the wrong people too much value. Like you said, we give the worst people the most value because they do the most stuff and shit. And we value all the bullshit. We value materialistic things too much. We wear designer clothes more than anybody, and we are the poorest race in this country.
I'm so glad you said that. I am so glad you said that because I just want to bring up one point. I know you're about to get into it, but I just want to bring up this one point. The craziest shit is how people go out here and buy Coach, Louis Vuitton, Balenciaga, which we ain't never fucking heard of, all of these things. And I don't think people understand that the oldest cloth that we actually know of is kente cloth from Africa. And you don't see any of these fucking stars wearing no kente cloth. You don't see them doing that. You see them paying $800, $900 for a t-shirt, bragging on how much that t-shirt costs. But you're not putting money back into your community buying the shit that we created. We created cloth. We created garments. We created that shit. We don't even do that shit. You want to call shit exotic because it came from France. Not understanding that French people never took baths, and the reason why we have cologne is because the French people didn't take baths and they stank and they had to find something to cover up their funky ass smell. So at the end of the day, we don't even value our own communities. We don't even value our own things that historically we created. And
keep going. Go ahead.
We allow these stars to go out here and promote this money for these white people and these white cultures and these cultures that have nothing to do with black people. And, you know, they shit on black people talking about we didn't make this garment for black people and we don't want black people wearing it, but we still got black people going out here and buying it, hoping that at some point in time that they'll accept the fact that we like their garment, but you won't even put money back into the place where you came from. That's crazy.
And you know what? I didn't want to get this deep into it. I want to do a part 2. But see, that's the thing about podcasts with you. You keep making me go deeper. These same, okay, I'm gonna say it. Let me tell y'all something. These same celebrities, right, who claim to be black activists, right, in the community, that wear designer clothes. They wear designer clothes, and those owners of the designer companies, the people who really own those companies, hate black people. Wouldn't even never have a conversation with you. These same black celebrities will tell you how much they love black people, right? How much they do anything for black people. They don't put no money in the black communities unless it's the hood. They don't put in the suburban black community. They want to go to their project to the worst neighborhood and put in a convenience store, liquor stores, just some shit that niggas is gonna rob. They don't put nothing of value in the hoods like banks and schools, shit like that. And the same niggas that do that shit will tell you how much they love black people, but then go live with a woman that can't even speak English. Now tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying.
Now, hallelujah to the church. I'm gonna take it a little bit deeper. So I don't know how many people pay attention to Fat Joe. I love Fat Joe. Fat Joe is one of my Germany didn't make cologne. Cologne was made in France, but okay, whatever you said. One of the things that I love about Fat Joe is Fat Joe brings out out a lot in people. And one of his famous ones that he just did that it kind of went viral, but it didn't, was addressing T.I. on his snitching thing. And the reason I want to bring that up is because you brought up activists. And when we're talking about value in a community, when we were raised as kids, we were taught not to snitch. There was a no snitching policy in the hood. When you got a motherfucker like T.I. that gets on here and you want to walk with the people and talk strong and use big words and shit like that, and then we start finding out like, nigga, you snitched on your dead cousin so you can beat a case. My nigga, you're a snitch. When you snitched on Alpha Mega because you motherfucking wanted to beat a case, nigga, you a snitch. You have snitched on every case that you have ever done. You have now devalued your whole fucking community, my guy. And so when you have these activists and stuff like this that go out there and do it, okay, that's neither here nor there. It was still made by white people, so it doesn't make a difference. At the end of the day, when you go out there and you devalue your community like that, and then you start promoting things and you start talking about people like 6ix9ine and stuff like that as snitches, you devalued the black man. You've made it okay for us to for us to work with the white man to take black men out of the community. And so where do black women have to go? They have to find something else. And it's gotta be the worst feeling in the world to be a black woman to have to leave her community to go find a king in another community when we are the original kings and queens of the world. And so when you have black men like 2 Chainz, like I'm sorry, not 2 Chainz. What's his name?
That's my boy. You can't say nothing about
not 2 Chainz. The other one, Future. When you got niggas like Future, and I always like to bring up the one from 8 Mile, like you ain't the future of shit, bitch. When you got niggas like him that have a college degree and you go on TV and you say the reason that you make this music for your community is because this is what they strive for, but you got a college degree, you don't even smoke weed, you not even from the hood, you don't even gangbang, you don't even do none of this bullshit that you rap about, but you promote it out there to your community, you devalue your community. You promote it for these kids to get locked up. You promote selling drugs to these kids so they go out there and they buy Balenciaga, they buy Gucci, they buy Fendi, they risk it all so they can get this bullshit, and they don't put that money back into their community because they don't know better. But you have the education to teach them better. When you got activists, when we talk about activists, when you got activists like Umar Johnson.
Yeah, he's a real activist.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
But look, hold on.
He has a white education. He graduated from Pitt State University. He has a doctorate in education, not in historical documents. No, he cannot be an activist.
There's people who never even went to college that are activists.
Umar is more of a angry black man than he is of an activist, because a lot of the shit that he talks about is not true. And I've even caught Umar. I've even caught Umar in some lies when he sat up there and talked about how Japanese people are so racist. I lived in Japan for a year. That was the most peaceful place that I ever lived in, that I didn't experience any racism. Umar is an angry black man who has a white education, who went to a white college, who wears a kufi and a dashiki with a beard and talks loud. He is a piece of shit, and he does more harm when you talk about shit that you really don't know about because you read a couple fucking books, but you never experienced it. You can't go over to Japan and have a bad altercation with somebody and just say, "Oh, Japanese people are fucked up." Nigga, I lived there for a year.
Hold that thought though, because don't some people have a bad experience with a black person and label it's all bad, then everybody believe it? It's the same thing. Until what you said about the rappers, a lot of rappers went to college. I know, I'm not gonna say no names. I went to college. I went to a culinary school. Some of them, we did music. I used to DJ. Some of my friends rap. Some of them rapped, cooked in the kitchen, and sold dope. So we can't say just because he went to college, he didn't live that life. Now, some of them went to college and they never did it. And I understand
T.I.
I don't know T.I. background, but some of these rappers really did everything they said, but they also were intelligent and went to school. But I understand what you meant. Like, they don't talk about getting a degree and going to college. They push all the negativity. But I understand.
You got to also take this aspect. If I sell drugs to you, right? If I sell you a dime bag of weed, right? And you know that I sold you a dime bag of weed, right? That makes me a known drug dealer, right? Because I sold you a dime bag of weed, right?
Got you.
Am I right? So yeah,
one dime bag though. One dime bag.
But all you gotta do, but you know what though? You know what happens if you got some good weed and you bought it from me. Exactly. Yeah. So what that make me? A known drug dealer, right? Because I sold you a bag of weed, and now everybody know that I sold you a bag of weed. They don't know that I only had that one damn bag of weed. So yeah, I'm a known drug dealer because I sold you one bag of weed. That's that common bullshit. Like half these rappers wasn't no dope boys. If you grew up in the hood, you probably sold a dime bag of weed, maybe some crack before, but the majority of these niggas was not the same nigga that they portray themselves to be.
And that's what I was talking about earlier when I said we give the wrong people too much value. See, you just answered my question. Didn't I say that earlier? In the black community, we give the wrong people too much value. And then you have in the community, you have these real black activists in the community that they live in and won't never leave, and they get looked over. And it's terrible because I know some personal ministers that are real ministers that they're not just a minister on Sunday. They're a minister 7 days a week, 24/7.
Absolutely.
Community.
Absolutely.
And then I know some jackleg preachers. They used to call it back when my granddad was preaching that he's a preacher just on Sunday, but Monday through Saturday he everything else but a minister. But to the point, we got to stop giving men and women both. In our community, the problem is with this whole value thing, we give the wrong people too much value. And that is on us because the people that we need to really value, the real activists in the community that goes to City Hall every week to fight for me and you that nobody talks about, to get good policemen in there, good judges, good lawyers, good prosecutors. We don't talk about those people that are valued enough in our community. You know, the good policemen, the good firemen, the people that keep us safe at night, and our kids.
Absolutely.
Those people, they don't get enough value. But the dude up at the liquor store that's selling everybody weed and lacing it with shit that's cool with everybody and drink at the bar with everybody, he get the most value to anybody. But that's what we give it to him. That's all because
but you do know that when you see somebody every day, okay, when you see somebody every single day, and you see what they have, every single day. You see them. You see they got a nice car. You see they got a nice crib. You see them doing. You see them every once in a while. They might give out candy in the community and stuff like that. You see this every day, and so you start putting your value in that. You see a nice house. You see a nice car. You see them pulling out money. You put value in that. What you don't put, what people, and especially in the Black community, what they do not put value in is who are they teaching? Are you teaching somebody how to get to that level that you are on? And that is what we had when we grew up. We had OGs telling us the problem, what they went through, the struggle they went through, what not to do, what to do. You got the Black community now has become so prideful that the Black community does not want somebody to be higher than they are at this point. They don't want somebody to be you don't really want somebody to be a better senator than you. You don't want somebody to really be a better governor than you. You don't want somebody to be a better doctor or a better rapper. I mean, we saw better rappers with the case between Gucci Mane and Jeezy. The Black community doesn't want, especially with Black men, we don't want somebody to be a higher level than us. We all want to be the man, and that's the problem when it comes to, back to the whole thing of Black men have to create value. And a lot of times when we look at Black men like Barack Obama, how is he relatable to a man in the hood? If you never came from the hood, how can you speak on me? You can't tell me that I shouldn't be doing this when this is all I saw.
And you know what? Hold that thought, because I want to say something. I'm not cutting you off, but I just don't want to forget this. His wife is from O Block. Michelle Obama. It was called something else. But a friend of mine, when we first started this podcast, this is what he said. How are you judging me when I go to court and arresting me if you're not from my community? You don't understand me. So I understand what you mean exactly. How can you judge somebody and tell somebody, hey, if you never even lived or been around these type of people like me, I'm not from the hood, but you meet my daddy and my brothers and you be like, they totally different from you. I understand though. I understand. The message is not going to be the same. I understand what you're saying. What you're saying is when you're telling these people don't do this, the message is not going to be the same because you're not from there. Right. So that makes sense as far as trying to relate to somebody. But the problem is, this is the biggest problem. The biggest problem we having right now with this whole value thing. We give people too much value that don't need it, and the people that do deserve their value, we don't give them any value.
I think it's deep.
It is, but let me finish it. Then I'm gonna let you go because I know where you're going. Right now, if you ask any of our women, most of them, not all of them, I'm just being honest with y'all. If you told one of your female friends, walk up to the Black guy that's just regularly dressed, look at him, what do you think about him? If you look like you don't have no money, she would say, nah, he looks like he's broke. He don't have nothing. He don't have no value. Just off his image. We talked about that earlier. Image determines your value. And the worst thing you can do is judge a book by its cover. You don't know the true meaning of that person until you talk. Like I said earlier, look, when me and Darius was in Atlanta promoting music, there's a dude that walked up to me, looked like Trinidad James. I mean, he had gold everywhere. And he walked up to me, and I looked at him. This nigga walking up and me a business card. He looked like a straight thug. He said, hey, blah, 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 like we do too. He was like, all right, let's link up. But looking at him, you wouldn't think he had a business card in his pocket, right? So by looking at him, he would get the wrong type of value, right? Because we just looking at him at a certain way, like you said earlier. And we got to stop that. You don't know
But
what
that
this.
goes back to
Go ahead.
that goes right back to what you were saying about how black women view black men. Like black men, you have to look like something. When you are white, Asian, Mexican, or any of these other races, you don't have to look like shit. Like I'm gonna give you a prime example. My best friend is a multi-millionaire. I've said this before. Multi-millionaire. He shops at the thrift shop. He was dating this chick and she was like, "Would you tell him to like buy some Jordans or XYZ?" And I said, "Why?" She was like, "Because he don't dress like that." I said, "But what kind of car does he drive? Where does he live? What's in his bank account? You would rather date a broke ass nigga wearing some fucking Jordans than you dating a man that can provide for you because he's black." Now, role reversal. If it's a white dude and he out there with some cut off shorts on and he got a wife beater on with some thong flip flops and he's walking around the damn beach looking dorky dork, y'all would think that that white man is successful. Or we don't know what he has. Y'all would try and figure him out. But for the black man, you will not do that. So it's in our society where there's a guy that I know that lives in the same community that I live in. He rides the bus every single day. I did not know. I had no idea until 2 days ago that this man has a Bentley in his garage. Brand new, nice, clean, black Bentley sitting in his garage. And I was like, "Man, why the fuck you take the goddamn bus every day and you got this damn Bentley in there?" He was like, "Because it's cheaper for me to take the bus than put gas in this car. And I use this car just for like going, Saturdays and Sundays, but I could catch the bus and the bus stop is right in front of the complex. The bus stop drops me off right in front of my job. I could ride the bus for $2.50. It costs me $100 to fill this car up. Why would I take the bus why would I drive my car when I could take the bus and save money?" But, black women don't look at black men like that. Black women look at black men like we have to look like something to be with them. But you can have any of these other races and any of these other religions out here looking like a
They
pot full
shop
of
at
coal and
Walmart.
shit.
Exactly.
Right, and they wouldn't give a fuck. So it's
And
different in our community.
to add to what you just said, there's a guy, used to be a bus driver here at the city of Cleveland. Nice guy. Talk to him every day. White dude, cool as hell. He didn't even sit down on the bus. He would just stand up by me and we talk all day. And he was like, "You know what I do for a living? I build restaurants." I said, "Man, that's neat. I used to work in a restaurant." I was like, "That's got to be some hard work." He's like, "No, I got a passion for it." And I was like, "Why you on the bus?" He was like, "Shit, because it only cost me like $30 a month to ride the bus and the train." He's like, "I make over 200 grand a year, but why drive? I can pay $30 a month, get work, come back." I said, "That's a smart man." And you know what? Not just the white guy. So many black men and ladies, let me tell you something. Ladies, right now, I drove the bus for 2 years in the city. Every man on the bus is not broke.
Absolutely.
A lot of these dudes don't have a license, or some of them that live in the city just don't like driving. I listen to the conversation. A lot of y'all passed up these men. "Oh, you on the bus, you broke." Let me tell you something. This was before you could buy your bus passes on your phone. These dudes would pull more money out than I had, and I was a bus driver making good money. Trust me.
Let me tell you, you got a black woman on this damn podcast right now that's sitting up there talking about like I gotta be from the hood and I'm uneducated and deactivate me right now. You're not even listening to what the fuck we talking about. See, that's what I be talking about, man. Like I don't give a fuck. Like I'm gonna pull whatever the fuck it is, and I'm gonna say it like exactly like the fuck it is. At the end of the day, what she just said as a black woman, without you sitting there understanding exactly what we are talking about, instead of us having dialect on here, instead of us having dialect and talking to black women and black men as we respectfully, you want to disrespectfully say something and not even know what you're talking about. And that's exactly what we're talking about right now. You are probably a single black woman right now sitting up there thinking, because you know one thing out of this whole conversation that you can pinpoint, sitting up on your high horse, riding up there like Samuel L. Jackson from Django, and you want to sit there and downplay somebody instead of having dialect. This is the problem between black men and black women. Right there. That's that bullshit right there. And at the end of the day, when we sit up there and we be like, you know what, I just want to have a conversation with a woman. You single because you sit up there and want to point fingers like, well, I know this. You like one of them black ladies that go to church with one of them big ass hats on and know every scripture in the Bible, but you ain't read nothing else. That's that bullshit, bro. That's exactly what I be talking about on these podcasts and on these shows, is that women downplay men. And just because you're from the hood means that you're not intelligent. Like, maybe it's because we can't relate, but if we can't relate, let's have a conversation on it. Don't point the finger and try to act like you better than somebody just because you know the answer to one question. You still lost the game of Jeopardy. Like, that's ridiculous.
But let me get back to the image value. When we talk about valuing somebody, the worst thing, men and women, men do it too. You can't look at somebody and say, nah, they ain't worth nothing. That could be an angel sent from heaven, and you just pass on them because about what they got on. That's the worst thing we can do as people, period. Men and women. Men do it too. And you'd be surprised who you've misjudged horribly. And like I said, I was a bus driver for 2 years. I seen these guys ride the bus to work. I'm taking these guys to work. Hey, man, where you going this morning? I got to do a double. Pulling out thousands of dollars to pay $5 for a bus pass. They go sit down, try to talk to one of the girls in the bus. They don't want nothing to do with him on the bus. He got
even though you're on the same bus. Even though you're on the same bus.
And the crazy part is he got more money than the dudes driving up and down the street in the car. Because this dude ain't doing nothing but going to work and back. You know, y'all passed up on a lot of husbands. I mean, men that would take care of you. You know, never judge a book by a cover, and men do the same thing. Just because, you know what I'm saying? There was a girl I used to talk to right on the bus, and I drove the bus. Found out we kicking it, me and her, you know. Next thing she tell me, she showed me a picture of her daddy. Dude used to play for the Patriots. You know what I'm saying? You don't know who you're gonna come across. That's why you never judge people. You know what I'm saying? You can't determine somebody's value by how they look. That's why this conversation is important. You judge somebody's value by their character and getting to know them. That's how you judge somebody by their value. When you judge somebody by value, it's not something you can judge in a day or two. You really got to be around this person because their characters and their morals is going to come out one day. That's how you judge somebody by their value. Now, you can have self-value, how you value yourself. And can't nobody tell you how to value yourself, right? You might have self-value like, you know what? I'm the finest thing walking. And you're supposed to feel like that, right? But the next person might not agree. Men, the same thing. You be like, what woman don't want me? I'm good looking and blah, blah, blah. But you know what? They might not feel that way. The women might not feel that way. But there's nothing wrong with having self-value.
Did I tell you the story about the day I was standing at the bus stop and what that fat bitch said to me in the passenger seat?
You told me. Yeah, go ahead, tell her.
No, so I was at the bus stop one day, and my car was in the shop. And even though I could have gotten a loaner from the dealership, they didn't have any available, and I had to go to work. So I wasn't about to sit there and wait for it. So as I'm sitting there waiting for the damn bus stop, waiting for the bus to come, it was this light-skinned chick and this big, fat, black, bald-headed big bitch that shouldn't even been in that car because she was too big for the damn car. Sitting in the car, and I'm sitting there, I'm dressed for work. She'll be like, oh, it's always some broke-ass nigga standing at the bus stop. You know what I'm saying? Nigga how you got a brand new iPhone and shit, and you motherfucking standing at the bus stop? And I'm looking at this fat ass bitch like, I'm actually not broke, motherfucker. Like, I got a car, I got a crib, I got a job. My car just in the fucking shop. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, nigga can't catch the bus without somebody. And then I started thinking about it, like, wait a minute, why am I even about to say something to her fat ass in the goddamn passenger seat? Bitch, you ain't got no car either. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's all these stereotypes that we do in our community. But
Neither one
like
of y'all has had a car at the time.
right. But like I said, at the same time, you never hear black women talking about a white man at the bus stop. You never hear a black woman downplaying white men, Asian men, African. You never hear that shit. You always hear them downplaying black men. Like
And this the thing.
black,
Hold that thought because I want you to go back to it. This the thing. Remember, I was a bus driver. There's broke white men, broke Hispanic men, broke Asian men on the bus doing the shit we doing, going to try to get food stamps, going to try to get housing, doing the same shit we doing. Trust me, as a bus driver, it's damn near, depending where you're at, just as many white people on the bus as black. And a lot of times they ain't got their bus fare either. So I don't want to hear that niggas ain't got bus fare. No, it's everybody. Everybody. So,
right,
and yes, we
right.
are just, and you know what? I hear women all the time. I would never date a man on the bus. And I'm going to say this one more time. You would be surprised the amount of money them guys have riding the bus. A lot of them, they don't have a license. The license is suspended. They got a DUI and have plenty of money. And it's cheaper to ride the bus and the train than to take a lift. Trust me, women, everybody, if you looking for a boyfriend, you better get on that bus. It's some dudes
The
with some
other thing,
thousands.
the other side to that is that um let's not take an accountability. There's a lot of women out here say that a man got to have a house, a man got to have a job. Bitch, get your dumb ass in your lane, you hoe ass nigga. There's a lot of women that be like, a man got to have a house, a car, a job, and all these other things. There are a lot of women that don't have the qualifications that they want a man to have. There's a lot of women that don't have a car that want a man to come pick them up sometimes. Like, shit, I want somebody to come pick me up. God damn, I don't want to have to drive from the north side to the east side to come get you. Like, there's a lot of women that do not have the qualifications that they want a man to have. And you know, you think that just because a man has a house and a car and a job, that makes him a leader? It absolutely does not. Just because you have a house, a car, and a job, just makes you be a functional person in society. It does not make you a leader. You are
But
just
see,
doing what you're supposed to do as an adult.
that value thing. Remember what I said earlier. Men that have their own things know as a young man, when you're 14 and 15, why are you working? To get a decent house, have a car, have a stable income so you can get what? So you can have a decent woman. That's what we're told as young men. That's what we're told. We're told you're not going to get no decent woman being broke. We're told that. So we have to create that value. Now,
Right.
just because he created that value,
But I think that's our generation, though, James. That's our generation.
no, that's the older
But I think
generation,
that's our generation, though.
huh?
Yeah, but I'm saying I think that stopped at our generation. Because our generation, these kids ain't working early. They working so they
Some
can buy a pair of Jordans. They're not working so they can be successful.
some of them, not all of them, some of them. But it's
I'm not
different
gonna say
now.
all of them, but
Shit, you gotta think these kids making money off YouTube. Shit, if I was 16 and could make money off YouTube, why would I go work at McDonald's? If I can make if I can make twice as much on YouTube, hell, if I can make money on YouTube as a 37-year-old man, I'm not going to work tomorrow. I'm just gonna be honest. When I do start making money on here, you think I'm going to work? We're gonna be on here every day. You know what I'm saying? Neither one of us are going to work. Come on,
that part.
YouTube,
But
YouTube,
the
shit.
but the thing is that as leaders, as black men, as men with opinions, as men with voices, even if we do get rich and we do start doing big shit like that, we gotta always remember to pay it forward, like to teach other people, to make sure that somebody else has a torch to be able to pass on to somebody else. And that's a lot of times what black men don't do in society. I always tell people the most important person in the building is not the CFO, it's the goddamn janitor. Because he knows all the fucking secrets and he got all the keys to the goddamn doors. He is the most important person in the whole entire fucking building.
And it's crazy you said that because he has the most value because he knows from the desk clerk to the CEO who's doing what, when, who's stealing, who's messing with who coming in, who leaving late, who
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah.
He know
That
who fucking who. He know all that.
exactly. So when we talk about value, we have to stop at doing image value, like because you got, and I'm gonna say this, women, y'all get mad. You got women that say a man is a bum by how he's dressed. But check this out. You have a man that's dressed up in $1,000 worth of clothes and ain't bought his kid shit. He don't have his own
Absolutely.
house. He living with a female. He don't borrow her shit and he dressed nice. He driving her car.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all don't
Mm-hmm.
call him a bum because he looked good in what he got on. But
So
then
I had a dude.
the man that dress at that shop at Walmart that take care of his business and his kids, he's a bum by how he looks, and you don't
I
even know the difference.
I have people like that every single day that I see, and in the cell phone industry, you always see them. They always looking for a deal. They ain't got no phone. They ain't got no car. They ain't got no credit. They ain't got none of this stuff. And did you see the video that I made about the doctor talking about the difference between rich, middle class, and poor? Did you see that video that I made on that?
I didn't get to watch the full thing. I glanced at.
So this man, and it touched me, and it made me really think about the black community. He said the difference between poor people, middle class people, and rich people is poor people think that going to work is about paying bills. So they'll work all day, every day to pay bills. He said middle class people think about going to work and money is based off of building credit so they can buy shit that they can't afford. And rich people think about every $100 that they get, they're investing it in something else. They're putting it in somewhere else. They're building money. And the black community, we don't think about that because we're so into fashion, like who dresses the best, who got the nice car, who got the biggest house. Like, yeah, I could probably go out here and buy a two or three and $400,000 house right now. But for what? To sit up there and tell somebody that I got a $400,000 house?
Right.
I can afford to do some big shit. But for what though? What is it? What am I gaining from that? Like, am I gaining that just to be able to tell some chicks like, oh yeah, I got a Bentley sitting outside? If I go buy a Bentley right now, if I went and financed a Bentley right now, I know that I'm gonna be struggling to pay that Bentley car note, to pay my rent. I might not be able to eat, but I got a Bentley and I know that I could probably go over to this chick's house and eat. But how long is that gonna last? Before I gotta find another chick's house that I could go eat at because I ain't got no food in my refrigerator. I don't got no furniture in my house, but I got a $400,000 house with a Bentley. And that'll make me look successful to a black woman because I got a Bentley. Now there's a YouTube one that went viral about a year ago about this white man and his boots. And he was talking about, he was like, you know how you can tell a hardworking white man? Look at his boots. And he was talking about the different types of cowboy boots that white men wear, and how you could tell what a white man does based off of his boots. But a black woman to say, you could tell a lot about a black man by what kind of shoes he wears if his shoes are clean. And his white man was like, shit, I got these motherfucking boots. They got goddamn tape on them, but these motherfuckers work. But a
He
black man would be,
probably make a killing in them boots.
man, I had this chick, I bullshit you not. My homeboy makes big bread. Like he works for Rumpke. He does recycling and shit. Makes big bread. Like he make like I think he make like 40 something dollars an hour working for them. He been there for that long. And had this homegirl always talks about she wants a good man, a strong man, a hardworking man, and XYZ. And my dude came, we was at the bar. He just got off work, came up there, had his little Rumpke stuff on, and she shitted on this nigga. James, when I tell you she destroyed this man, and had he not been these bro, she shitted on this man so hard. And what the fucked up part was at the end of the night, when she didn't want to talk to him, when she ignored him, when she tried to shit on him, even after her girl was like, he's a nice looking man, and she was just talking about his attire and how he just came out looking like a whole bum, and how dare he come out and meet her like this, and he looked like this, and he looked like that, and all this other shit. And when this man goes out to his car, mind you, this motherfucker has a midnight blue Maserati, brand new, 2023, brand fucking new.
Damn.
When he goes outside and he gets in his Maserati, and she getting in her beat up ass fucking Camry and shit, and she's like, "Damn, that's your car?" And he's like, "Yeah." And now she wants to have a conversation with him. Now she wants to talk to him. Now she wants to, oh, well, where you live at? Now you want to talk to this man after you don't rip this man apart? After you done shitted on this man? After, oh, he don't, yeah, you don't dress the part, but he probably got more money than every single person in this damn bar. And you done gave the, and the crazy thing is that I sit there and watched her give the brokest nigga in the whole bar her number. Talking about, oh, girl, he fine, and he do this and he do that. But this nigga live on my cousin's couch. But she done gave this man her number, talking about all these accolades and all this stuff that he do, and he this, yeah, and he this and he that, and yeah, he got this and he got that. But this man, you shitted on him. The nigga that you gave his number, the nigga that you gave your number to, he can't take you to Waffle House. He wants you to go half on a fucking room, and my dude getting out there in a brand new Maserati and shit, and now you want to have a conversation with him. He wasn't dressed the part before, but now because he getting in a Maserati, he dressed the part. But because this dude got on some chains, and he got on dreads, and he got on the brand new jeans and the brand new Jordans, you think that this man is dressed the part to talk to you, and he ain't even got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. But because this is a hard-working black man, he go out here and bust his ass on his job, been on his job for 20 fucking years, you want to shit on him. I witnessed this shit. And my dude was like, oh, well, shit. I was like, bro, just walk away. You don't need to talk to her, bro. You're a better man than that. You don't even need to talk to her. She was cold.
Ice cold.
Damn. Right, but I'm not the only black man that hasn't seen this before.
Yeah.
We see this. And his value was not in who he was as a human being. His value was not in who he was as a strong black man. His value wasn't in the fact that he'd been on his job for 20 years. His value was the fact that this nigga just got off of fucking work and he don't look like he's supposed to look. But you got a white man in a bar that looked like Cowboy Bob, looked like Crocodile Dundee, and you won't say nothing about him. You'll just be like, oh, that's how white people are. That's how they dress. That's how they do this and X, Y, Z. But black men, we got to go out here and spend all this money to look to look halfway.
But that's like what I was saying earlier. We have to stop overvaluing the people that don't deserve it, and stop undervaluing the people that have value. Like that lady did. Like I said earlier, you got to get to know somebody, know their value, right? If she would have never seen your dude's car, she'd have thought he was a straight bum. But then I'm sure he probably sounded like he had on a work uniform, and it probably had his name on it, and she too slow to realize he is in his work uniform, and he probably had on steel toes. She just too slow. She sounded like she was young though too.
She wasn't young, bro. She our age.
What? She don't know what work was still told. That means he just got off work.
But that's the thing, though. Like, if you not in those Jordans, if you not dressed apart for a black society, there's an African, and he a good dude. It's an African that go to the same bar that I go to. Good dude. His pants is always creased. He got a really good job. He worked for the sheriff's department. He's a deputy sheriff and shit like that.
Oh, okay.
Nice crease shirt all the time, and motherfuckers be in there clowning him, bro. Like he wears Spearings, he wear dress pants. I mean, he wear jeans with creases in them. He got his shirt creased up, always clean, but motherfuckers be in there clowning him because he ain't in no Jordans, he ain't in no Nike apparel and shit like that. Women don't want to talk to him because they're like, oh well, you know, he don't dress like this, he don't dress like that. But he's a very successful black man. He's been on the sheriff's department for 25 years. And you would never know that unless you talk to him. And the only reason I know is because I talked to him one night. We was out there having a conversation. He found out that I was prior service. He was like, hey, why don't you apply for the sheriff's department? And I'm like, shit, I don't really know. He was like, man, I've been on the sheriff's department for 25 years. I would have never known that had I not talked to him. But women don't talk to him because he don't dress the part of a black man. Now, on the flip side of it, it's at the same bar, there's a white man that wear the same shit. Same type shit. And these black chicks be all over him. Oh, he look, you know, he's so successful, XYZ. I'll go up there and talk to this white man because he dressed like a white man. But a black man that dresses like a white man in society is not respected. Tie. He wearing a briefcase or something like that. But it's all about the perception. Like, black women don't know what the fuck they want from a black man.
Most women over 35, like me, when I have a lot of money, I'll go to Kmart or Walmart to dress. Women over 35, 40-year-old women, when a man walks in that's 35, 40 years old, and he has on some shit from Walmart, she know he has money. Most black men at 35, 40 shop at Walmart, they just don't spend money. He might not be a clothes guy. That doesn't mean he's broke. But most women over 35 know when a man make money, especially if he wearing Kmart shit, Walmart shit. Oh yeah, he got some money. But y'all do me a favor. I think Johnson checked out. Leave us a comment.
Nah, I check out.
But look,
I had a work message.
35, 40, no. And y'all do still leave us a comment anyway. Most women that are a certain age, I know older women. They'll tell me, oh, I can tell he got money. Look how he dressed. He don't spend money on clothes. Smart women know. Oh yeah, he got some money. He got some money. Or he'll have on some shoes that you can't just buy at Walmart. He have on some nice shit that the women you talking about, like, what that cheap shit on? Them shoes cost $400. Mm-hmm. And you don't even know. It could be like some Steve Manns or some type shit. You know what I'm saying? That you can't afford. And you turn this dude down, he got thousands of dollars. You know what I'm saying? But see, that whole bar club shit is played out. You know, if I'm looking for a woman, I'd rather talk to a woman at the grocery store where I'm at, like Walmart Club. I'm not trying to compete with these niggas. I ain't gonna win. I don't buy $200 shoes. I ain't gonna win. And I'm not about to fight for you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't about to buy you a whole bunch of drinks, and I ain't about to go spend $300 on an outfit. Fuck that shit. I got real bills. You know, you can spend $300 on an outfit when you ain't got bills. Me, hell no. But
I had a woman tell me a few weeks ago, she was like, "You don't never buy nobody no drinks. What the fuck am I for what? Why am I buying somebody some drinks?" She was like, "Oh, that's how you talk to women." I said, "Listen, baby. When I grew up, you had to have gang. You know, when you grew up back in the 80s and 90s, you caught the bus with your homeboys and you went down there and you had to actually talk to a woman face to face. My game ain't about to be reaching in my pockets, pulling out some money to buy you a fucking drink. Now, if we sitting there having a conversation and I see your drink get low, I'm going to go ahead and fill you up. But I'm not about to walk up to a chick and be like, oh, let me buy you a drink. I'm not doing that shit."
Right, because they know you 30.
Exactly. And then on the same frame, when you said like older women, they look for these things, we also have to take an accountability that there's a difference between women, bitches, and hoes. There's a category of it. Bitches don't know that shit because that's what they, you know what I'm saying? They don't look for that shit. And the hoes don't look for it either because they're looking for a nigga to buy them something and to support them. A woman is totally different. There's few and far between women out here. The mentality of women out here is totally different. So we have to categorize things like that. We have to treat people and leave people exactly where they are. You know what I'm saying? Women will sit there, women can downplay men. Oh, he don't do this, he don't do that. But as a man, if I don't buy you a drink, does that mean that I can't afford to buy you a drink?
No, see, remember that big word I used earlier starts with an E? Entitlement. I'm gonna tell you a story. You're not gonna believe me. This when I lived in Kentucky, and when I was in my 20s, I never bought women drinks. But when I got conversating, if I got a good conversation, yeah, buy you a drink. We have a conversation. In my 20s, I wouldn't, because I'm young. Like, fuck, I'm gonna buy a broad a drink for, and you just gonna go talk to the next nigga and get a drink from him. You know what I'm saying? I was young. You young. You don't give a fuck.
Right.
So I'm chilling, and this white chick, bad body. I mean, and my dude, rest in peace to him. He's like, hey, fat boy. That's what they called me. I was real big. Buy old girl a drink. This is what she did. This because she was bad. This is what she did. She ordered the drink before asking me. And I was like, what you doing? She's like, I ordered my drink. I said, okay. I ordered me one. He was like, you paying for it? The bartender said, you paying for it? I said, no. I said, she thinks she that bad where she just gonna get a drink without even. She didn't ask me my name, ask me how I was doing, just because she looked good and got a nice body. These other 30 niggas that's thirsty, let them pay for that shit. My dude was like, you really ain't gonna buy it? I said, no. She ain't gonna give me no plate, no way. So I drank my shit and I sat there and he bought it. Like, I'm not buying it. That's some my entitlement shit. Yeah, you look good. I don't owe you nothing for looking good. God made you that way. I didn't. And why I gotta buy you a drink? You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't owe you shit. That's that entitlement shit.
And yeah, I had a chick that I went on a date with. My homeboy's girl hooked me up with her. Went on a date with her. Well, we was going on a date. Before we, so we got a lot of, you've been to Columbus before. We got a lot of restaurants here in Columbus. So we were supposed to go out to eat. And I was like, well, where you want to go? She was like, well, anytime I go on a date, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to like Smith or Wolinski's or something like that. Now, Smith or Wolinski's on one person, you probably going to spend a good $250, $300.
Okay, because I never heard of it. We don't have it up. I don't know if we had it up here.
Yeah, Smith and Wolinski's is very expensive, and their food is very good. Like, I ain't gonna front, their food is very good. But I'm telling you now,
and Ruth Chris.
Oh hell yeah, Ruth Chris ain't shit. They not.
Hey, this is what I do. I ain't gonna lie. Anytime I meet a chick, she said this is the restaurant she like. If it ain't on Groupon, it's expensive. If it ain't on Groupon, they don't take coupons. It's one of them restaurants that don't have no prices. Where you just got the menu. So anytime a chick say this type of restaurant I look at, I Google it. If I look at the online menu, there's no prices. Like first date, you going to Applebee's. Applebee's, you cheap. Yes, I am. Because you know why? For one, I don't know you. I don't know what I'm getting out of this. So I'd rather spend $40 than $400. I can take a loss on 40, but I can't take a loss on 400. If I spend 400, you owe me something. So here comes my entitlement. They don't like that shit when I talk like that. Go ahead.
See, my thing is like, I feel that too, but I also feel like if you can't buy it for yourself, why should I buy it for you? And I'm not with you. You know what I'm saying? It'd be different if we was together, but I'm just meeting you. And if you don't eat at Smith or Wolinski's every day. And if I look on your Facebook page and I ain't never seen you eating at Ruth Chris or Smith or Wolinski's or the Ocean Club or anything like that, why do you think that it's okay for you to open your mouth? Right. Like, why do you think it's okay for you to open your mouth and tell me to take you to a $400 restaurant when you can't take yourself to a $40 restaurant? Like, women fail to realize that men, like if I take you to, and this is the thing, if you take a woman to a $400 restaurant on the first date, where do you have to go from there? Where are you going on the second date?
It only get more expensive, but this the thing, and I seen this. I think it was on TikTok. I think it was TikTok. The lady said, "Women, y'all so pressed for a man to take you on an expensive date and pay for everything, but you go to Applebee's with your homegirls and split an order of French fries." They
That's
couldn't say
facts.
shit.
That's facts.
And there's nothing wrong with going out to a nice place. I like to eat and dine. There's nothing wrong with that, but that has to be earned. But when they get that sense of entitlement, they're born with. If you want this, you want me, this is what you have to do. And you know why they're like that? Because you got these simps that'll do it. So you can't blame the women 100% because as a man, if I could get a woman to take me on a $400 dinner and get what I want, I'm gonna do it.
But that's also goes back to these other races and these other races and these other I'm gonna just say these other races. They do it. But I like to tell women why. They're like, oh well, a white man do this, a white man do that. I'm like, a white man don't got a black man struggle. You know, do you know if it wasn't for the fact that it was a black woman that was the realtor in my community, I probably wouldn't have got in the community that I was in, because now that it's white people out here, I don't get treated the same way as I did when black people were out here. As a black man, I'm the only single black man that lives in my community. Everybody else is a black man married to a white woman married to a black man, or a black woman married to an African that live in my community. I am the only single black man in my community.
And I guarantee, not to cut you off, but I guarantee when they all get together, they be like, man, what's up with that dude over there that's by the men be like, how he over here by himself? The women probably be like, he ain't got no girl. And what he do? How he over here paying all his bills by himself? He ain't got no woman. You know they talking about you, but go ahead.
I had a white man ask me about 3 weeks ago. Because I have a garage. I was in my garage letting my car warm up, and he was like, yeah, how you like living out here? I'm like, it's cool, it's quiet, you know what I'm saying? I come in my house, it's at peace. He was like, man, the women don't get on your nerves. I was like, I don't got no women. He was like, so who are you out here with? And I'm like, what do you mean who am I out here with? He was like, well, who do you live with out here? I live by myself. He said, you live by yourself? I'm like, yeah, I live by myself. He's like, you know, this is like a family neighborhood. You know, most people out here have wives. I said, why do I have to have a wife to live out here in the community? Like, well, what are you trying to insinuate that I, as a single black man, I can't afford to live out here? Well, what do you do? Why does it matter? He was like, well, that's a nice car that you got. I'm like, that's a nice car that you got. I'm like, does your wife get on your nerves? He was like, yeah, why you think I'm out here talking to you? I said, see, if you was a single man, you could live in your house at peace. You out here worrying about what I'm doing. You out here worrying about what I'm doing and how I'm out here affording to live in my neighborhood. You thinking too hard about the situation. You outside smoking a cigarette and you don't even want to go back into your own house and you live with somebody.
Don't let those men fool you. In your neighborhood, those men pay all the bills. They woman is just there to keep them company. Don't let them fool you.
No.
Really?
That is not the case. That is nope. I
Really?
Can't even let you do that. Can't even let you do that. Nope, because there's some little hunky-dory house husbands that live out here. It's some
House
Africans. Oh yeah, house husbands. Oh yeah, it's a house husband that live right around the corner from me. House husband. I just be looking. I'm like, he's like, yeah, it's a nice day out here. Like, yeah, I'm fucking mad. I gotta go to work. Yeah, well, you know, I gotta go in the house and raise these kids because I'm a stay-at-home dad. I'm just looking at this motherfucker like, bruh. Wife driving around the corner in a nice, clean, big body Benz and shit. She's like, I'll be home around 6. Okay, honey. It's house husbands that live out here. It's a broke ass African that live around the corner with this cold ass black shit, bro. It's some weird shit out here. But I'm the only single black man that lives out here in this neighborhood. Everybody else is in relationships. Everybody. Black women, it's a cold ass black chick that live around the corner with a bum ass nigga. Nigga look like he jumped out of two cans of dirt. Ain't got no job. Always causing drama right around the corner from me. Like,
but he there because you know why he there? So she can control him. She likes control. Actually, she got that much, women like that, like control. If you can't pay the bills, then they gotta control you.
Actually, it's the other way around, because when she kicked him out the other day, she sat out there and told him, she was like, I don't even know why you come over here. Like, you don't live here. I don't want you here. Like, you don't pay no bills. You ain't got no money. You ain't got no job. And the only reason I let you come over here was because it was cold outside.
I don't believe that, because she really would have gone. She could have called the police. She want that nigga there.
She did. She did call the police. She did call the police.
Oh, did she? Oh, damn.
Cause my apartment is in the opening of the community. You got to go around the corner to get to my garage. Around the corner from my garage, there's another court called Trina Way, and that's where their apartment is. When I was coming outside to go to work, the police was already there, had dude in handcuffs, and all his shit was in trash bags outside her house.
Damn.
And she was out there yelling at the police officer like, he don't live here. He ain't got no mail here. And his clothes is outside because they was in the trunk of his car, and he was trying to move them into my house, and I wouldn't let him. But it's all kind of stuff out here. But the reason I bring that up is because the reason I bring those stories up is because as Black men, we're not valued in society enough to be on our own. We're not valued in society enough to be a single Black man with a house, a car, or anything like that, a nice house, a nice car, in a nice neighborhood, without being married. We're not looked at like we're supposed to be by ourselves. We're looked at like we're supposed to have a counterpart. We're looked at like we're doing something different. I had a white man ask me a month ago when I was at work, when did I get out? My mental.
Get out of what? Jail.
Yeah, because he looked at my tattoos. He was saying as jail. I was saying it as a service, because my whole arm right here talks about the service. It's a story. I'm thinking he saw the tattoo, the Marine Corps tattoo on my shoulder, on my arm. I think that he's talking about me getting out the service. The whole time he was looking at my tattoos, talking about when did I got out of jail. We are stereotyped by how we look, or if we have tattoos, or if we're bald and if we had a beard. You know how many times white men have asked me, am I a Muslim? Like, damn, like, because I had a beard, I'm a Muslim? Like, this is the stuff that we go through. And so the undervalue in a Black man goes back to how society deems you and how we're looked at. We're not looked at as successful men. We're not.
But you know what makes it so bad? And this makes it worse. When it comes from our own women, and let's say you're a successful man, right? But then you have a group of women say, no, he's not successful. When the women say that, they'll believe it.
Absolutely.
Even if you are successful, when they say, nah, don't fool with him, he ain't nobody. That's the power our women have. They have more power than us, than me and you. Their voices are louder. They get heard more. They have, me and you, you know, we can say, yeah, you know what? I'm successful. He's successful. But if a group of our women say they ain't successful, everybody will believe them.
But they be so happy. But they are so happy, and they praise each other so much when they get a man from another race. When they get a white man, they are so, I went out and I got me a white man, and they're so happy, but we are so undervalued by our Black women and our Black in the Black community. You know, unless you a hood nigga and you a popular nigga, they probably not gonna post you.
Happy Friday, Boosie.
My bad. My bad.
Are you excited about it? Friday, about
My
it being
bad.
Friday?
Yeah. My bad about that. Did you hear that? My bad. I hit the wrong button.
Oh yeah.
My fault. The reason why I'm glad you say that, I meant to mute TikTok, so I apologize, y'all. I'm gonna play this video now. This is one of the videos. Because me and you were supposed to do 2 shows tonight, but it's getting late. I don't know. I'm going to play this video, Jonathan, because I told you earlier I was going to play it. You haven't seen it, but we got to talk about this before we go off. We have to. We got to talk about it. Y'all give me a second. So what I want everybody to do when you get a chance, I want you to go to TikTok, go to Hit Show Podcast, okay? I need everybody on here to go follow us at the Hit Show Podcast on TikTok, okay? I am going to put the link in the description. Give me 1 second. I'm going to put the link in the description. I would like everybody to follow us, join in on the comments. We do comment reply videos. We do stitch videos. We do pretty much any kind of video. We do skits, everything. So here is the link. I'm posting the link now in the comment section. Y'all make sure you follow us there, okay? And I'm going to go ahead here and find this video and talk about it. All right, y'all give me 1 second. So I appreciate your patience, everybody. And we're going to get to it. Give me 1 second. Oh, that's the wrong video. I'm sorry. Let me find it. All right, let me find it. Okay, here we go.
Never want to date you anyway. The hairline to get a.
How can a group of women that don't accept a certain group of men get mad when another group of women accept a man that you don't want? Selfish and controlling. You put these guys in a box you don't want, that you're not interested in. So another group of women says, I like these men, and it's a problem. When Stella got a groove back, you didn't hear a black man saying, forget that, and passport women, and you didn't see us bashing women and letting women that went overseas to get men. But when men go elsewhere after they've been denied, it's a problem because they're going to find love somewhere else after you said no. So are they supposed to keep pursuing you even though you don't want them? I'm not understanding.
Hey,
powerful video. I'm bringing it back, y'all. 1 second.
James.
Yeah.
Hey, so before you do that, hey, you know how we was talking about earlier, like women that talk shit and they'll be like, I ain't trying to hear this bullshit. I ain't trying to hear this bullshit and shit like that, but still be watching.
Yeah.
Hey, this chick on here is that same type woman. Talking all this shit, but you steady on here fucking watching this shit. Like, if you don't like it, what the fuck you on here for? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I guess she think, I don't know if she think like we some weak niggas, like we not gonna just, I'm gonna pull your card every chance I get when I see stupid shit like that. Like,
you don't think that. I know her personally. This good friend of mine. She don't think that. She don't think that. On that video, I told you I was gonna pull it. This is what I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm not a, but this is one of the biggest trends. I'm gonna get the official Passport Boys on this show. I've been talking to them on TikTok. The women in our community, black women, right? These group of men that you don't want, let them be happy. You don't want these, y'all call them broke. Even they ain't broke. They ain't broke. Or they might be corny to you or lame because they're not your type. some of y'all call them dusties. Let them go overseas and buy their women. That's what they doing. Ain't no different than a man here coming up to you saying, if you be with me, I'm gonna take care of you. You don't have to worry about bills. I'm gonna make your life easier. There's no difference. So why are you mad at the man you do not want that goes somewhere else and say, hey, I'm gonna take care of you? Why is that a problem?
Because they single and that man ain't taking care of them.
But the man gave you a choice. He said, I want to be with you. I want to take care of you. And you're like, no, you're not my type, which is understandable. You don't want to be with somebody. I understand it. But why are black men shamed for going to say, hey, I'm happy? But when women do it, look at Chili from TLC, got our white man, put it on the internet. Look at Eve. Black men, you don't see us going online bashing them for it. You don't see us bashing them. As soon as we go somewhere else and say, hey, I'm happy, it's a problem.
Because it's not happening to them. Because they ain't got chosen by no white man. Let a white man choose them. And watch how they change their whole perspective. It's all these black women on Facebook right now talk about, oh, if I can't find me no good black man, my black man my soulmate might be a different race. It's all these women saying this shit on Facebook. But the crazy thing is at the end of the day, they all come back to black men one way or the fucking other. So like I said before, we see it all the time.
So they always come back home, huh?
They always come back home. Because this is the thing. Like the other day, this white lady called me a racist because she said she was talking to me and she was like, oh, we should go hang out sometime and maybe we can go on some dates. And I was like, I don't date white women. She was like, what, are you a fucking racist? And I was like, I'm a racist because I don't date white women. She was like, well, that's kind of like discriminatory and stuff like that. I said, so I asked her, I said, what exactly can we relate to? She was like, well, what do you mean? I was like, could I come home and talk to you about how I can't stand the way my white bosses treat me today? Can you understand that? Can you understand how emotionally I'm going to feel when I get pulled over by the cops for not doing anything at all? Are you going to be able to understand that? Are you going to be able to understand how I grew up in a black neighborhood? Are you going to be able to understand that? Can you understand that without sympathizing? I don't want you to sympathize. I want you to feel how I feel. You can't do that. And there's nothing that we can relate to. So what are we going to talk about? Because it's just like on White Men Can't Jump. When they was talking about the music, he was like, you can hear him, but you can't feel him. You can hear Jimmy, but you can't feel him. You can hear Tupac, but you can't feel him. You don't get it. You don't it sounds good, but you don't got the same problems. You ain't got the same struggle. Black people, we have eternal feelings. Slavery, even though I was never a slave, is real to me because it's my ancestors. This ain't your ancestors. Your ancestors was right. Exactly. You there's nothing that we can talk about. And at the end of the day, I always feel like there is in a white and black relationship, there's always gonna be a racist family member. It's always gonna be that Ku Klux Klan uncle you got. It's always gonna be. Yeah, it's always gonna be my drunk ass uncle that can't stand white people. That's talking about, man, these motherfucking hunkies ain't shit. So that's not my lane. I just don't date. I don't date white women. I don't knock people for doing it. Yeah, it's not for me. But in the same aspect, black women date white men all the time, and then they stop dating white men. There's a black lady on my TikTok page that was talking about it. She's been talking about how she's been dating white men for 23 years. And I pointed out to her, but you still single. So apparently you've been dating all these other races and all these other people, and now you back here to black men, but you still single. So they not doing it for you either. She's like, well, they treat me different. So then you're a prostitute. Then she blocked me. But I'm just saying, if you think that they're making your life better, because that's the reality of it. Somebody because they making your life better, because they are paying you, because you're benefiting from it in some way other than love, you are a prostitute. way that you could put it.
Don't feel bad. I got blocked twice in the last week by these two black chicks. So, and I wasn't bashing them or nothing. And I actually conversate with them in their inbox about different shit, like just life and regular. And then when I post something they don't like or comment they don't like, oh, I'm gonna block you. It's not personal. Why are you blocking me? I'm a podcaster. Like I told you, I'm a podcaster, not a counselor. Okay, I'm on here podcasting.
But you know why though?
I'm gonna say what I, because I'm black and I say what I want to say.
Nah, that ain't why. Come on, man. We had this conversation all the time. That ain't why they blocked you. You want me to tell you?
Go ahead.
Because these simp ass motherfuckers are yes men.
Your favorite words.
Hey, listen, it's the truth. These simp ass motherfuckers are yes men. They gonna say and do whatever these women want them to say, because the only way that they got game is to say yes. You know what, baby? I agree with you. Yeah, this ain't this, this ain't that. You don't even have a fucking opinion, and that's the ones that they stroll to because they don't have a fucking opinion. They're gonna do whatever they say and whatever they want them to do, and yes, baby, this and yes, baby, that. Vice versa, we're gonna be like, bitch, you sound dumb as fuck.
Exactly.
And you got me fucked up.
And
You
so
think
they hit them with the floetry. All you got to do is say yes.
And then when you say something that they don't agree with, like you said earlier, they will not talk to you, but they'll still watch your shit and be like, girl, look at these motherfuckers, they ain't shit. But they'll say that without having a conversation and a dialect with the man to figure out where they actually coming from. You want to take what I said and you want to use it in your role reversal as a woman, but you're still not understanding where the black man is coming from. What you will do is a white man will say the same exact thing that I'll say. You'll be like, you know,
they won't
what, girl?
block them. Yeah.
This man.
The one girl was all in my inbox talking about how fake I am. Said, you don't even know me. I'm podcasting. Today I might agree with you. Tomorrow I'm gonna disagree with you on purpose. I'm podcasting. I'm not a two-faced person, but if you look at me two-faced as a podcaster, that's fine. I'm here to get views. She's like, well, you don't care what you're doing to black people? I said, no, I'm on here for views. I don't give a fuck about what I'm doing to black people. I ain't did nothing that they ain't did to their damn self, but starting some shit on TikTok between men and women because that's the easiest way to get fucking views. Nothing. They don't like that kumbaya shit. So, yeah, I'm going to be on here podcasting, agreeing with you today and pick you off tomorrow, and I'm going to continue to do it.
And they don't look at, but women don't look at it like that. Like I told a chick the other day, she was like, "Oh, you always talking some deep." She was like, "Oh, you always talking some deep, real shit and X, Y, Z and blase skip. You always saying this, you always saying that. You always talk about politics and always shit like that." And I was like, "Well, on the flip side of that, I might get 300 views. I might get 1,000 views. I might get 1,500 views. But all you got to do is turn around and shake your little flappy ass in some fucking in some boy shorts and shit like that, and you get 300,000 views. You ain't said a motherfucking goddamn word to help your community, to build anybody up, to make anybody feel better, to help their relationship. You ain't did a goddamn thing but turn around and flap your little shaky ass and shit like that to some bullshit ass fucking music, and then you want to sit there and have a conversation with me and talk about like, oh, you always talk about this, you always talk about that, but you silent shaking your ass getting 300 fucking views and you ain't did shit.
The hypocrites. The same girl who was all in my inbox called me fake a month ago was telling me how much she want to be single and dating different people, but not having sex with them, and she married. She ain't happy. I'm like, so you want to be married at home and a hole in the street? She's like, yeah, pretty much. So I could have called her out, but see, I'm not no corner at the screen. We had a personal conversation. But then you want to try to call me fake. You want fake because you flexing like you happy and online and you ain't. You in my inbox telling me you can't stand your husband.
Listen, bro, I had a chick, and I tell people this all the time. I do not and will not date a female if she's married or if she's in a relationship and I know. I had a
I would.
chick because I believe because I wouldn't want somebody to do it to me for one.
I used to
But
think
what
like
I
that.
believe,
Go ahead.
what I had this woman tell me, she's like, I really love the way that your mindset is, and I really, I want to talk to you and get to know you better. So I was like, all right, cool. She was like, let's meet for drinks or something. And I was like, all right, that's cool. We could do that. So she was like, let's go bowling. Bet. We go bowling, having a good time. We sit down at the table, have a couple of drinks. You know what I'm saying? Just talking about life. And she was like, I really want to get to know you better, but there's something that you should know. Hey, so
Let me
my mental jumps to conclusion like you better not be a motherfucking man.
That's what I was thinking.
But nah, she wasn't a man. She wasn't a man. What it was she'd been married. Well, not she had been married. She is married, and she wasn't happy with her marriage, and she felt an attachment towards me because of my shows and shit. And so I just looked at her and I was like, you know what? You the problem with society right now. Like you think that you can have your cake and you can eat it too. And I would never willingly be a side nigga. Like there's not a woman alive that can afford me to be a side nigga.
That's the
And
best position.
That's the thing. I don't think like to be a side nigga, you would have to afford me. And
You gotta.
listen, I'm a high price hoe, all right? I'm a high price hoe, all right? So you gotta be able to afford me to be a side nigga. But I don't think I'm handsome enough to be a side nigga on that level of where you're gonna actually pay my bills because my shit's expensive. It's not cheap. So I would never willingly be a side nigga. And two, I would never be a faithful side nigga. Like it's side niggas out here that's faithful to the chick. Like whenever she called, they gonna be there. They gonna do what I couldn't be that side nigga. I couldn't do that.
There's different types, but yeah, he's the loyal one.
I'm not gonna be loyal. If I'm the side nigga, I'm definitely fucking other bitches. I'm not about to be loyal to you. That's just not gonna work. But it's like I think like with for like black men, like black women almost treat us like we're second class citizens and shit. Like they want to be with a strong black man, but they don't want to be with a strong black man because they want the luxuries of being with a white man. If you understand what I'm saying.
They want both. They want their cake and eat it too. Not all women, but the ones that do, like the Tyler Perry movie. I forgot the name of it, but I know you've seen it. When Sanaa Lathan was messing with her boss, and it was a white dude that owned a construction. He owned like this big construction company. Her husband and Tyler Perry worked together on a construction site, and her husband actually was starting his own company.
Oh
and they had a
shit!
son. Remember that?
Yes, and they called the nigga out in the house and shit, and was like
that ain't your son. When she got mad, that's his son. And he went off on her. And I don't condone hitting women, but when you do some shit like that, I think you deserve an ass whooping.
Listen, bro. When I seen that movie, I was like, he is a better man than me. Because you talking about getting the shit beat out of you, like I would have dogged, like you know what that does to a man's pride when you say some shit like that.
Killed him. But Tyler Perry, I'm sure that's happened in real life, but
Definitely.
I'd have
Money
lost
talk.
anything.
You
Money.
know they're saying money talk, bullshit walk.
Shit, look at what we was talking about a couple weeks ago. P. Diddy. He just throws his money at women. They do whatever he want. He got the money. Money is
Hey,
power, man. When you dealing with women, they gonna do whatever.
it
Y'all
is,
might,
and
y'all can say I'm bashing or whatever like that. As soon as I say something, I'm bashing, whatever. But a man, got some money in his pocket. Look what y'all do for free online. On TikTok. Everybody bent over for free. I know what you do for some money, especially some real money. Man, come on.
listen, look at what they do for some Chipotle. Like fuck on TikTok.
I understand
Like,
that. That shit is nasty.
man, listen. At the end of the day, you know how they used to have the saying like, "Money can't buy you love."
Right.
I knew that was a lie when Lil Wayne started getting bitches.
It can't buy you love, it'll buy you attention.
Nah, these bitches love that nigga.
No, they don't.
Oh, they do. Yeah, they do.
No, they don't love them. It's a facade. It's excitement. It's a celebrity. It's a wealthy man. That it's not. There's no love in it. It's lust. There's no real
Do you
love
know
there.
how? You know how I know women are in love with Lil Wayne? Because they'll date a motherfucker that look like Lil Wayne. They'll get a stud that look like Lil Wayne. They love that little ugly worm looking nigga. And that's that. They say money can't buy you love, but money can buy you the luxuries that will influence you to love your surroundings and the bullshit that you got to deal with. And at the end of the day, I can't knock Diddy because Diddy got big bread and he can afford to put somebody on a pedestal and give them a life and give them a name that nobody else would have heard of. And when you can do that and you could create an atmosphere that somebody would have never been in under other circumstances, that's big shit. Because Diddy's not a handsome motherfucker. He's not. But his money and the power that he has and the influence that he has makes him a handsome motherfucker. Because he's legit. He's legitly, if he's not a billionaire, he's right there at it.
What they say he is now. Once Kanye is not a billionaire, now Diddy's the billionaire. So. But we got to get off here. We've been on here long enough. Leave us a comment. Got to thank Jonathan Lefrage for coming back. We're on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Hit Show Podcast. You see the ticker at the bottom. Go ahead and support the show. Cash App, money sign, Hit Show Podcast, LLC, all one word. Thank you, and we appreciate y'all for tuning in.